Hello everybody, yep, it's me again. Oh, really? I do find it funny that there will be someone out there that gets sick to death of these videos. I'm fully aware of that. It's great. It was fun annoying people. Anybody seen that comment? In fact, you wouldn't have seen the comment because it was held for review by that guy that he couldn't find my personal YouTube channel at Total Stevo to watch some road rage videos. Keyword being road rage videos. Says he's a member of Discord. Says he's a big fan of the show. Love the show, Stevo. Fans. And yet he says I've got road rage issues. Yeah, no shit. As I tweeted out the other day. You're clearly not a fan of the show because have you not seen the 3 PM kickoffs? Have you not seen when we're doing a watch along to an important game? Fucking mug. Anyhow, that's already a minute ranting about someone. Can't make it up. It's really funny actually because when you go to the held for review section, the comments that are in there, you'd think they'd be like really aggressive or offensive or whatever. It's like it contains a swear word. That's it. Like for instance, I think it was A. Dawson wrote blah 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 blah. That's what he wrote. He literally wrote blah 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 blah, and then I can't fucking wait for you to get out of there, and that was it. Simple as it gets, and that's what was held up because he used the word fucking. Why am I doing this video? Basically because I've got this. And what is that, Stevo? Well, if you look closely, old school Premier League fixtures. This was on the day that it was all released, on the Thursday the 15th of June. And I thought, you know what? Let's do some fixture reading with Stevo. Although in all seriousness, it's more of a chat about the content that I've watched over the last few days from various people and just how they're... Because I'm actually seriously thinking of using that football site, which I don't know what it's called, regarding making up a draft team. So it's a bit of fun, isn't it, at the end of the day? I know there's a lot of people, what, you've seen 2 people put out a tweet and that's it. A few Twitter accounts have said basically to people that are doing drafts or just playing around with everything, it's just like get a life. And I get the sentiment and everything. But the reality is there are people out there, what, like you, Stevo? Yes. It's my passion. It's something that I enjoy talking about. What, you like talking about fantasy football, Stevo? But in all seriousness, it's something that I like talking about. It's something that I'm actually really invested in. It's something that I'm relatively knowledgeable about. I'm shit at the game, but I'm relatively knowledgeable about. And it's just also, obviously I'm passionate about as well. And they always say about when you create content, as long as you're doing something that you're passionate about, that's great. You know, you take my little Total Stevo podcast that I do, and it's literally just this, but me chatting shit about things that are going on in the gym and the bullshit that I see in everyday life and work. You know, it's just like an outlet for me to just basically slag people off. And just comment about, it's social commenting, isn't it, I suppose, is the word I'm talking about. And, you know, I do occasionally will come across like YouTube channels, whether it's big time, whether it's small time, it doesn't really matter. And sometimes I watch, I'm like, are you doing this because you actually enjoy the subject matter you're supposed to be dealing with? Or are you just doing it to become popular? Oh, I just want to be popular like the new boss, like the new channel. Normally the answer is the latter, which is you just want to be popular for the sake of being popular. And you can just see right through it. And again, I will make this statement again. I know I put out a YouTube short, which the YouTube short seems to be more popular than these videos, which again, I don't understand. It makes no sense, me putting up a poxy video of me just going, look at me with this bottle of cheap champagne. or just literally just saying I've uploaded a video and that's it. Or what was the one I did the other day outside Buckingham Palace, and I just wrote, guess where I am. That's it. And yet they're getting more views than, I think they've had more combined views than we've had over the past 6 months. Think about that. Shall I try and get a thumbnail? That. Do you know the irony? I can't even see myself in front of the camera. It's so, I say it's so bright and sunny. It's not actually that sunny. It's quite overcast, but it's still quite warm. But no, the point I'm trying to get at is that when me and Jason do these videos, I know it's mainly me, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean? It's all because I enjoy talking about it. And it's also the fact that, you know, as people have said in the comment section, and like I say, I do want to say a big thank you to anybody that has just passed on kind regards. You know, I could be really cheeky and be an absolute fake individual and just hit the like button. You know, it'd be from like Max Roberts, congratulations on the job promotion. Like, Dread FPL, well done, Steve, on getting the job. Like, it doesn't mean anything. You know, I'm somebody that, like, at least will either acknowledge that person, or in video format or audio format, whatever, same difference. Or I'll just say in this, like now, like, thank you and everything to a vast group, because there were a lot of people that have congratulated me on my new job, and, you know, as I joke about, it does mean that my Elite FPL streaming is going to change a lot. So, to be completely transparent, I found out yesterday that unfortunately my shifts... So when I last did a video, I'm pretty certain I said that my shifts were going to be 11 till 7. Then I discovered that actually they want me to do 8 till 4. And I was thinking about this. I was going, actually that works out better for me, 8 till 4. Now thinking about it. Ideal, perfect, 8 till 4. I can live with that. Then I got a phone call yesterday saying, due to unforeseen circumstances, you can't do 8 till 4, you have to do 11 till 7. So I'm just assuming that the person that got the 11 till 7 shift the other day, they've pulled out of the job. That's the assumption. But the funny thing is that when I went for the interview, they were kind of almost saying, like, they were trying to separate the wheat from the chaff and just kind of essentially be like, look, we don't want any time wasters. We need serious people wanting this job. So if you're not interested, leave now. They must have said that at least 6 or 7 times throughout the process of the day. Are you happy with the job on offer and the stipulations and all this? If not, could you please leave now? And, you know, on that day, like I said, of the 8 people that turned up, literally, I think it was the 4th person that turned up, they sat down and they literally went, oh, I'm not interested, and went. So, anyway, point being is that, yeah, next season is going to be a lot different for me and Jason from a streaming point of view. But the key, as I mentioned the other day, is that there'll be more streaming with me and Jason, which is a good thing, I guess. I mean, you take last night as a perfect example of, I actually wanted to stream last night. I don't know why, I just felt like streaming. Obviously there's nothing to stream about, I don't need to stream. But I was thinking, imagine if this is next season, it's just a case of, obviously me and Jason would have to pre-arrange it, but it would just be a case of, right, me and Jason are going live at 9 o'clock, whatever. Tune in. Done. It's all going to be predominantly next season evening streams, predominantly. But it does sadly mean, unfortunately, that 3 PM streams I don't think are going to happen anymore, which was something that I really, really enjoyed. Well, I say enjoyed. You know what I mean. But yeah, but talking of, obviously, fantasy football, and like I say, I've got the older thing here, and I was just listening into, yesterday I was listening to FPL Black Box and just listening into what As and Mark was saying, and it's just really interesting just hearing thought processes from people and like how they're going to be attacking the fixtures. And, you know, they're making the point that, look, the likes of, I mean, what time schedule is this? So 9 minutes in, we're talking fantasy football. You won't be able to fit in triple Man City, triple Arsenal, triple Liverpool. It's going to be impossible. I thought about doing my own personal draft just for a laugh, just like with a piece of pen and paper, the old-fashioned way, and do the pricing myself, what I think each player will be and stuff. And you are aware there are websites that do this. You even mentioned the website earlier on. Yeah, I'm aware, but I prefer doing everything DIY. You're an idiot. There's a reference, if anybody gets that. Comment below. But yeah, so they're talking about like triple up of Arsenal, triple up of Man City, and I was thinking this. I'm thinking, you know what? I think the way I'm going to attack this season is, number one, go a bit templatey, but certainly I look at, let's just take the promoted teams as an example, right? So we discussed here regarding the likes of Burnley. So, in fact, I just realised I keep forgetting I can actually do this, can't I? So if we can just do that, can't we? There we are done. I don't know how much you can see there, because ironically I can barely see anything myself. If you look at Burnley as an example of the fixtures they've got, I know anybody watching this, you've already made your own drafts already, but Man City at home, terrible fixture. Luton away, decent. Aston Villa at home, terrible. Tottenham at home, terrible. Nottingham Forest away, decent. That's up till September the 16th. You look at Sheffield United as a simple example. Crystal Palace at home, Nottingham Forest away, Man City at home, Everton at home. Decent three fixtures out of 4 for Sheffield United. Luton, exactly the same. August, Brighton away, horrible. Burnley at home, decent. Chelsea away, West Ham at home, decent. Fulham away, not great. But then Wolves at home. There are going to be some gems with these teams where I think that it will be worthy of bringing in potentially, 2 defenders out of the 3 promoted teams just to start off with. You've got the likes of, like I said, with Burnley, defensively. I tell you what, we will be getting clean sheets against the, shall we say, lowly opposition. So if I look here, for example, across our fixtures, when do we have a decent patch? So let's just say December. So December the 2nd, we're at home to Sheffield United. Wolves away, Brighton away, Everton at home, Fulham away. I tell you what, of those 5 fixtures, I know it's in December, but I can certainly see a minimum of, say, 2 clean sheets. If you're looking at the immediate, because obviously we'd have all wild-carded by then and everything, if you look at the immediate opening 3 fixtures, Man City, Luton, Aston Villa, there's a high chance that we get 1 clean sheet out of the 3. You then look at Sheffield United, Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, Man City. Again, 1 clean sheet out of 3. It's the same for Luton. Brighton, Burnley, Chelsea. Obviously, I'm going to state the obvious. It's going to be Burnley is the higher chance of getting a clean sheet and a 0-0. Or maybe either 1-0 or something like this. But I think there's going to be some bargains in the defensive assets from the promoted teams. I'm even looking at Chelsea and I'm going, look, when you think about, like with Chelsea as a simple example, a team in which they've got some really good opening fixtures: Liverpool, West Ham, Luton, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Fulham. I'll tell you what, I am seriously thinking, genuinely, to go all in on Chelsea with Chilwell and Reece James immediately. Because they're going to get a price drop. They will do. They'll certainly be 5.56 million. I mean, I don't know how much these players were at the start. There's one Chilwell 5.5 and Reece James 6. I think potentially they're going to be, again, probably around the same price range. Maybe even if they were 5.5 each, I think for those opening fixtures, Liverpool, West Ham, Luton, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? I think, again, yeah, you could argue, well, we need to see how well Chelsea are going to be performing underneath Pochettino and everything, but we already know the kind of play that Pochettino has and the kind of way he likes to do things. And I certainly think that the fullbacks are going to have a lot of fun with Chelsea. And it's the usual line, yeah, but if they keep fit, look, it's the start of the season. They should be firing all cylinders. They should be fine. They should be fine to play. So I think certainly with Chelsea, they are definitely worth looking at as a double up. And like, you know, so what's that? 11, let's just say they're 5.5. That's 11 million. Throw in one of the promoted teams' goalkeepers. So I'm just going to be biased and just say Muric of Burnley. That's 4.5. So that's 15.5 million. Well, we've already got Haaland. So let's just say, for argument's sake, he's 14 million. So that's 29 million. 29 million on 4 players. Arsenal players, we're looking at obviously the likes of Saka. He's going to be 9.5. Martinelli, 8.59. Odegaard, 9.5. Jesus, I don't think anybody's going to be interested in. The defenders, Ben White for me, he'll be 5 million. Maybe, if not 5.5. Gabriel, I have no interest in. But maybe Saliba. Saliba, due to the lack of games, he may be only 5 million. So he could be one to target, Saliba. He may not be, I mean, I don't know what he's like from an attacking perspective, but certainly just from a clean sheet point of view. You know, you got Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, Fulham, Man United, Everton. Great opening fixtures, especially, remember, I mean, ironically, they were better defensively away from home. So they got Crystal Palace and Everton away. There's a decent chance that they get 2 clean sheets in those opening 4 matches. The 2 home fixtures, Nottingham Forest, Fulham. Okay, the third is Man United. So yeah, I think Arsenal's certainly a double up there from a defensive perspective with, you know, like I say, Saliba and maybe Saka potentially, maybe even Odegaard. But as I stated in the video the other day, giving the teams marks out of 5 for their fixtures and everything, you know, we will be all attacking Man City. We get that. So we're talking already of our budget, Haaland and one of Stones, Mahrez, Grealish, Foden, Ederson, Diaz. You're already talking between 2 of those players, so you're talking Haaland 14, and then the rest of them are going to be anywhere between 5.5 up to 9. Well, that's already, what, if my maths is any good here, which is not, 24, 25 million? And that's just based on an average of doubling up on Man City players. Because, like I say, Grealish is going to be what? Probably sticking at 8, 8.5. Mahrez will probably go up to about 9. You're gonna have the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, but again, I'm not. I know last season he did really, really well, but there were so many injuries that actually he made me want to avoid. But the reality of the situation is that if he was to drop down to, and he won't do, if he was to drop down to 10 million, he won't. He'll be 11. He'll be 10.5 at most, or at the cheapest anyway. 10.5 at the cheapest. 11, I would say probably 11 is probably going to be his price, unfortunately. Because remember, he was getting the assists last season, especially with his best mate Haaland. So, you know, if he's fit and ready, he could be an option. But I think, like me, with Man City's fixtures again, I mean, you cannot deny this here are ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Burnley, Newcastle, Sheffield United, Fulham, West Ham. Now, well, hold on a minute here, Steve. Defensively last year, they weren't that great. I mean, I don't know how many clean sheets they specifically got. I'm guessing about 13, 14. But they're so sporadic. You know, I would argue the Burnley clean sheet, Sheffield United clean sheet, Fulham clean sheet. That's 3 games out of those 4. But once again, you know, me personally, I'd be looking at John Stones, Akanji, So they're going to be what? It's John Stones 5.56, Akanji again 5.56 million. Liverpool, they've got some decent fixtures, and Trent Alexander-Arnold again is going to be someone on the radar. He's going to be what, 7.5, 8 million. But Robertson will probably have a price drop. I reckon Robertson's 6.5, Van Dijk will be 6. So Van Dijk's 6, maybe even down to 5.5 Van Dijk. Robertson will be about 6, 6.5. Trent will probably either stay at 7. What was he, 7.5 to start with? 7.5. Or he may push to 8. May push to 8. But I don't know. I don't think fantasy football has the bollocks to put him to 8 million. But you never know. You then have the likes of Man United, Wolves, Tottenham, Forest, Arsenal, Brighton. Not the greatest of fixtures, but certainly Rashford. I mean, he'll be classified as a striker this year, surely. So unfortunately, he's going to be a 9.5 million striker, which, from my personal perspective, is a bit off-putting, really. Hopefully, unlikely, hopefully Fernandes will come in at 9.5. Again, I very, very, very much doubt it. He'll probably go up to 10 million. But certainly he could be the one to look at from a Man United perspective. Newcastle, again, they could be decent. Although their opening 3 fixtures, Aston Villa, Man City and Liverpool, horrid. It don't get any better with Brighton, Brentford. They've got a tough start. Tottenham could be an interesting team to look at. Brentford, Man United, Bournemouth, Burnley, Sheffield United. Certainly maybe punting on one player. Son, what will he be priced down to? I know Mark was banging on about the fact that surely, that's another line he says a lot, surely he's got to drop down to about 9. I hope so, because he could be an option. These players can be options, but it's looking for those cheap budget enablers that can help us get those premium team players. Like I say, I can only talk about Burnley, but if the likes of Zerari comes in at 6 million, if Benson, I'll tell you what, Benson, if he is at 5.5 million, he could be the bargain of the season. Benson could be the one. He missed out a lot last season, whether it was due to injury or the fact that Vincent Kompany just didn't start him enough. But certainly towards the end of the season, I mean, he was scoring goals for fun. Very nippy player. He's your typical Premier League player that likes to dart in and out. Without going a bit mental here, but he kind of reminds me of a Messi in the way. He's very, very direct, likes the ball at his feet, likes to be attacking the goal. He likes to cut inside and hit it with his left foot. And I think that if he's at 5.5, there's your gem. There's definitely your gem. Brownhill, obviously, people are talking about. I think he'll probably be the go-to for most people, especially if he's 4.5. He won't be. He'll be 5 million. But Zerari's top class. He's fucking fantastic. And he could be the one that he'll probably come in at 6, 6.5. A bit expensive to start with at the season. But if he kicks off against the likes of Luton, Aston Villa, Tottenham, Nottingham Forest, he could be in for a very profitable season. But certainly Benson, if he's 5.5, without wanting to keep repeating that line, he could be the one as just an enabler, just a simple enabler, just to have on your bench and maybe play him in the easy fixtures, the likes of Luton as a simple example, Nottingham Forest, to name a couple of teams here. But certainly when I was going through this, I was thinking to myself, the likes of the final day of the season, what have we got? And you've got Arsenal at home to Everton, Aston Villa away at Crystal Palace, Bournemouth away at Chelsea, Brentford at home to Newcastle. Brighton at home to Man United. Burnley, we're at home to Nottingham Forest. You've got Chelsea at home to Bournemouth, like I said. Crystal Palace at home to Aston Villa. Everton away at Arsenal. You've got Fulham away at Luton. Liverpool at home to Wolves. Luton at home to Fulham. Man City are at home to West Ham. That could be a nice scoreline there, 4-5-0. Man United, like we just mentioned, away at Brighton. Newcastle away at Brentford. Nottingham Forest away at Burnley. Sheffield United at home to Tottenham. Tottenham I've just mentioned West Ham, and then obviously I've just mentioned Wolves as well. So, you know, certainly a lot of decent fixtures, even at the Christmas period. You know, if we're going to go for like the big names here, so you take the likes of Arsenal as an example. They're at home to West Ham on Boxing Day. Man United are away at Aston Villa. Burnley, we are at home to Liverpool. Thanks. Fucking hell. Thanks very much for that. Man City, they are away at Everton. So, yeah, I keep banging on about, I mean, we all have these videos uploaded and who we think are the best fixtures and so on and so forth, best players to be bringing in and stuff. But certainly I think there could be potentially some gems, because, look, there are teams there that we're not even going to be touching with a barge pole. The likes of, to start with anyway, the likes of Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Brentford. Brighton could be pretty decent to look at, maybe one or two players. Chelsea certainly to be looking at, but Crystal Palace we're not going to be touching. Everton, you know, I know Andy said on his video, for argument's sake, that look, if Calvert-Lewin stays fit and if he's a decent fit, more specifically if he's a decent price, 6.5. Why not? Why shouldn't he be 6.5? It's a relegation team, and they're not exactly a team that score many goals, so why not 6.5? But yeah, Everton with decent fixtures. Fulham, Aston Villa, Wolves, Sheffield United, first four. Why not? Why not Calvert-Lewin? But Wolves are a team, West Ham, Nottingham Forest, just teams that we can eliminate straight away. And yeah, it will be diving into, like I said, the big boys. And I just hope that, I'm stating the bloody obvious, I just really do hope that we do get some decent prices where we can have a bit of fun and we can look at these small little differentials that will take us. But certainly, as we always know how to play fantasy football, template first and have the odd differential here or there. It's towards the end of the season where you want to be really throwing in your chips and throwing in your cards and everything and going, do you know what, fuck this. I'm going to have to bring in someone like Maddison, captain him on the final day because he's at Tottenham. But yeah. Anyway, as ever, that was just a quick short video of me chatting absolute nonsense as ever. What I will say is that if you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up, yeah? Comment below, yeah? I know it's that way, isn't it? Comment below. But yeah, hopefully you're enjoying these videos. I'd like to think you are. And yeah, I'll just catch you whenever. See you later.